you a bee that just got shocked by another bee.
Wow, that's impressive.
Was that right?
You were like 95% right.
Was it a bee that got struck by lightning?
No, it was a bee that got curious and stuck his stinger into an electric socket.
Damn. That was going to be my third guess.
Symbiosis. It's always the third guess.
Yeah.
Everything I think is the third guess, apparently.
Yeah. Well, listeners, that's Sean Patton.
I am. That is Caitlin Cook.
That is me.
Yeah.
And you're listening to 5 Words, the podcast. This is the podcast where, if you don't know already, because you're an awesome listener, this is your first, I should stop talking.
Kayla gets excited when thinking about you, the listener, listening to this podcast. It's the one where it's a podcast where we invite a guest. They give us 5 words from a random story of theirs based on what we know of the guest and those 5 words. We tell them what we think the story is. Are we right? That remains to be seen. I'm pretty sure you can guess, because the next part is they then tell us the actual story.
Yeah.
And we talk about it.
Thank you for summing that up.
You're excited like a little child.
I just get so excited about explaining the podcast.
This week, fantastic guest.
Yeah.
Host of the J Train podcast.
Yes.
Jared Freid.
Jared Freid.
Wonderful, wonderful New York-based comedian, podcaster. His podcast is actually really funny. He gives advice, dating advice. Mm-hmm. He's at the Comedy Cellar pretty much every night. You know, the Cellar being inarguably the best club in New York and the East Coast and the country even. Being there every night says something to your capabilities as a stand-up.
True. Yeah. He's very funny. His podcast is great. I really enjoyed this conversation. I loved this story.
Yeah.
And he's doing a live stream show on Friday. So
no, is it Thursday?
I'm not sure.
I think Thursday the 30th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Thursday's the 29th.
Ooh.
Double check right now. Double check. Fact check.
Nope. The 30th is Thursday.
Oh, fuck, I'm wrong.
Thursday, April 30th, he's doing a live stream.
Yeah.
Go to Instagram. He's Jared Freid on Instagram. He's putting out all the info and where to get it. Check it out. It's this Thursday, August 30th.
Yes. And this Friday, you should check out our live stream show live at 10:33 because we've got Joe Firestone on, who is fucking awesome and hilarious.
Awesome, yep.
And we'll be doing more songs and sketches and comedy for you.
It's on Twitch, holdthephone.tv.
And also at holdthephone.tv, as always, Tuesday nights. So tonight, 9 p.m. is Good God. We've got Kyle Kinane, Langston Kerman, Pete Lee, Maggie May, and Caitlin Weirhauser.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a real fun doozy, a good doozy.
That's a damn good lineup. If that lineup were a meal, it'd be a pretty fucking. It'd be one of those meals where everything complemented each other.
Yeah. It's like a really well-rounded lineup, but I'm excited. Yeah. So should be fun. Definitely follow all the shows on holdthephone.tv. Yes. Zero indigestion. I now want to think of a comic that would cause me indigestion, but I don't want to say it on here.
Yeah. Until you listen to the episode, because we say it a few times.
Do we?
You'll see.
You'll find out. Enjoy.
The bee came back to life. It's just a small shock. Dude, it's funny because, I feel like people are looking at like Zoom things now, like we all looked at podcasts 15 years ago.
It's it's the great we found a new a new platform, a new thing. I'm doing a Zoom, or not Zoom, but it's the same thing. I'm doing a show next week. I'm going to try and sell tickets and shit. So we're going to see how that goes. But I'm putting together, now that I've seen what is that, what's at your disposal, you're trying to create a show that works best for this, just like the same with a podcast,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you guys are doing, you're okay, how do we take this thing and be fun with it and not, so.
I mean, it is interesting too, because I've gotten a lot of, I'm going to call them complaints. Complaints is what they are. from like non-comedian, like civilian friends of mine who watch a lot of comedy on Zoom, and they're like, I don't want to fucking just watch someone with their earbuds in from their bed just recite their jokes.
Well, that's the thing. When you get asked to do stand-up, it's like, well, that's a different thing.
Oh, yeah, it's
like,
completely different.
Why not let that be that? Like, when someone's like, do Zoom stand-up, and I've said no to a bunch of them. Like, I was like, nah, everything I'm doing now, the idea is to get someone to want to come to a show when it's over. So it's like, let's put that aside. Let's not be fucking, like lunatics and think like, well, I got to do stand-up because I got to get my new. It'll come. Let this happen. And like enjoy what we got. Like, just like you're saying, like, let's enjoy this in a way that like would be enjoyable. Like me going up and being like, so like dating. How are you not going to talk about, what's going on,
Yeah. We're all in the beds because we're depressed.
Yeah, like what it's supposed. Of course you want that part of your life back, but it will come. Like, let's just, let it happen.
Yeah, I'm particularly loving the live shows because I do musical comedy, which is usually shat upon if no one wants it, but now everybody wants it. So I'm in high demand.
I mean, that especially, like, you can have a concert. Like, you can have a legitimate, like, all the music stuff, like, if you weren't jealous of musicians before, now it's like, this is amazing. How about like to see like John Mayer be like, yeah, pull up a seat, let's do this. You're like, what? Like,
there's so many live stream concerts. It's crazy.
So many. And if you can do a twist on it where it's like, hey, like I'm doing this thing where I keep on the podcast, I'm doing coronavirus rant of the day. So I tell people, so I just basically turn into a monster and get angry about but it's always like, it's not like the virus, it's like what's happening because of the virus. So I put up one that was like people misremembering their pre-virus life. So like people like, I can't wait to go back to the city and waltz these streets again. It's like, you didn't waltz any fucking streets, like going into that.
Yeah.
So on the show, we're going to do a segment called the Rant Zone, where people could just like toss up what their rant ideas. And it's like, okay.
I love that.
I love when you see people posting like Getty images of Central Park, like, oh, miss this. It's like, you live in Queens and you never went to
do that.
Never went to Central Park. You never walked the sculpture garden.
Like,
you hated it.
Life. Yeah. It's pretty wild. Like I'm just like, I watch all this internet stuff probably too closely, but I just get, jacked up about it. But it's like, how do you figure out a way to like make it funny, idiot? That's what we're all trying to do.
I mean, I tell you what, dude, I've and I can say this earnestly, I've never actually, this is the first time in my life that I'm jealous of cam girls. Like so jealous of just like the spike in business getting right now.
Wouldn't that be funny though, to like if someone set up these, like if you set up that's the turn on stand-up I want the stand-up, but with the sounds you hear in the porno that was a cam porno. So you're like, hey guys, got a tip, come on. Like, that moment where they get mad at people for not tipping in a cam girl thing. Like not to say I'm like a huge cam girl guy, but I'm like, you see those pornos where you're like, I just want someone to set up the noises, for a stand-up show.
You know how there's a lot of, I mean, I don't know if either one of you know this, and I only know this through sheer research for material, but that there's a lot of like cam couples that they just don't show they only film from like here down. So you never, ever, ever see their faces, right?
Oh,
so that you're just
didn't
watching.
Know that.
Yeah, you're just watching like fucking, and from like a pure masturbatory standpoint, it job to job. Here's my pitch. Caitlin, you want to start doing one from just the neck up?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's hilarious.
There you go.
Yeah.
A lot of kissing, a lot of like weird faces and shit.
Yeah. Or a lot of just like, sure, yeah, this is amazing.
And then can we put it on top of the feed of couples that don't show their face? So our bodies are doing slightly different. Yeah.
Now we're cooking.
Your head's on the
I'll volunteer my face.
Having fun with it. No, because
the funniest part about that is then you start creating new fetishes for people. They're like, oh, I'm into minotaur sex.
Yeah,
that's when you take the body of one and put it on the face of another. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And then you actually get some fucking psycho who. Then there's a horror film about that exact thing.
Trying to chop up bodies and put them together. Yeah.
Franken-fucking is what it's
and
called.
And then there's someone offended because like we accidentally chose an interracial couple, and they're like, "That's black bodying."
Yes.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it's like reverse blackface.
Yeah.
At night, you have woke people doing a protest in Central Park, and they're like, "We will not be putting butts of the wrong race on the." It's like it all comes together.
Dude, that would be such a like. People are like, black bodying is wrong, and then you like rip open that person's shirt, and they've got a black body like painted on. Like, you're a black bodyist. Like, no. Kid, this was I was protesting.
Oh man.
We've created a magical world that everything leads to someone getting offended. It started in we just want to watch the two different heads on, and then it goes to that space.
Dude, I think you and I specifically have talked about this at the table. I know Caitlin and I have talked about this, but like getting offended releases endorphins and dopamine in some people. Like I feel like they look forward to it. And I truly believe that we are getting to a stage now where like creators, comedians, we are almost starting to get off a little bit on offending people. Those types of people.
For sure.
Absolutely. That that is like the most fun person to annoy.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, and also like it's the same to me, it's the same as a conspiracy theorist. You want to feel like you are smart for having this differentiating viewpoint of things, and it's like it's kind of like a fake originality, because you're like, oh, if I get mad, then I feel more and I'm smarter because I've noticed things more than the average person. And so it definitely makes you feel good about yourself.
That's so true.
Yeah, like your average, like anyone of any level of intelligence, and I'm guilty of not doing this, but when you get pissed off at something, you then go research it, look into it, and like kind of try and break it down and see what it's all about, instead of just immediately being like, well, this is bullshit, and retweeting it. Or
you know what it is? It's that guy or girl in class, in college or in high school that would raise their hand and go, they would just say the answer, and then at the end of it, they go, and am I right? Like it wasn't a question. It was just them repeating, just giving the answer. They're like, so everything I'm saying is what you're saying. And you would agree, I'm right? And you're like, oh, dude, this was a big show.
Yeah.
And then
I wanted to hear that they were right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also the teacher eventually stopped calling on them, remember? The teacher eventually.
Like, we know what's going on here. We know this is an ego play.
Yes, Martin, we know you know the answer, okay? But Caitlin, what do you think? And you're just, I don't want to. I'm scared. I imagine that was you, Caitlin. It's like you knew the answers but was shy.
No, I knew them. I just didn't give a shit about my shit at school. So
Caitlin would pull out a guitar and go, I have a song about that answer.
Wait, Jared, you're from what, Jersey?
Outside of Boston.
Boston! I'm so, how dare I confuse the two?
I get I get Jersey and I get Long Island because I'm a loud Jew. So I get those two.
Yeah, loud Jews unite. I'm not very, but sure. Wait, what's this dog on your hat?
Georgia Bulldogs.
Ah, nice.
I traveled to 2 falls ago, I went to 14 different college football games in a row to do a Snapchat show. So I just started buying hats from the places. And what I've noticed is if you wear a hat of a school, people will just like shout at you from every angle. They don't care. They just want to know.
Oh yeah.
I went to LSU.
Yeah.
I went to LSU, and I never felt more in danger at any of the other schools. That was the one where the violence was palpable.
Oh, no.
Dude, Baton Rouge is a like
Garrett.
Dysfunctional, angry city. It really is.
And it's like, I'm not just saying that like to attack. Like every college, the reason I loved it is because I had no skin in the game, so I could like judge these colleges. There's so much skin in the game for people. So like Baton Rouge just had this like coked up, I'm going to fight you energy at every turn. And there was nowhere, like there was no centralized town. So like everyone's just walking the highway, just ready, like with their fists up. And then there's Tigerland, which is great. But Tigerland is just like a bar with a tent. Like it's not even like, you're not even in a town. There's no kids around. Like it's just pent up dude energy with like hot chicks that are like flocking in groups to just stay away from these prowling tigers of a man.
Dude, I have only been punched in the head by a stranger at a bar twice. And one of those times was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, because I was at a bar and I was not wearing an LSU jersey during a specific happy hour where if you wore your LSU jersey, everything was half off. I just didn't know. And I was in there drinking, and a fellow bar patron got offended that I wasn't showing my Tiger pride, said something to me. I kind of gave him like a whatever, brah. And as I turned, he just caught me in the back of the head.
That doesn't even surprise me, like even an ounce.
I've heard that story. What's the second story?
Yeah,
The second time, I kind of deserved it. I was in New Orleans, and I called someone a fat fuck who wasn't fat.
Okay.
But I was like, they called me a tubbo-lard. Have you ever heard the phrase tubbo-lard before?
Of course, tubbo-lard. Yeah.
Tubbo-lard, which I thought was fucking hilarious that they called me a tubbo-lard. So I laughed, and there's nothing that will piss off an aggressor more than laughing at them.
Laugh right in their face to show how you just amused me. I'm happy for the surprise of what you called me. Yeah.
And they were not a fat person, but I was like, thanks, you fat fuck. And that's why I said, it means a lot coming from you, you fat fuck. And I turned and walked away, and I heard like the no. And before I turned, that one actually kind of hit me more on the neck, shoulder.
Ooh, no.
And I had to commit to the laughing role. So when he hit me, I just laughed a lot louder, and it got broken up or whatever. But yeah, like it's
turn to the Joker.
Yeah, right. Like actually, right there, never stopped laughing. Like, oh fuck, I'm a criminal now. But tubbo-lard. I still remember him calling me a tubbo-lard, and it was when it's like when you're having a good time, because I was poking out my gut, which is huge, and it always has been. And I was playing fucking drums on it for my other friend. And I'm just how like when you're having fun, but it clearly offends an angry person near you?
That's the most fun version of fun. That's angering the person who wants to be offended more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand.
That guy just broke into our conversation, called me a tubbo-lard. Wait, side note or return note. Speaking of LSU, one of the most dickhead fucking things I've ever seen at an LSU in Baton Rouge was that just like a party at a place called the Commons. If you know Baton Rouge, the Commons is basically an off-campus dorm. So it's nothing but college kids, nothing but parties. We were there. This guy, Trey, who I met, he was wearing baseball gloves, but it was not – he wasn't a baseball player. He was like a fucking hip-hop kid, but he was wearing baseball gloves. And it just kind of seemed like, oh, he's doing that because rappers do that, or they used to do that in the 90s. Wear like baseball gloves or wide receiver gloves.
Oh, so they were like, what? Not baseball, not a mitt, but the actual mitt.
Yeah. And I just accepted that. I was like, oh, the guy clearly is somewhat of a South African American, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
White guy talking like a black dude. I was like, oh, I get it. He's, in it, whatever. And some other fucking yoink guy I don't know either starts giving him shit for wearing the gloves, and just out of nowhere, just like, it looks fucking stupid. You a little bitch ass pussy. And the kid finally took off the gloves. His hands had been like horrendously burnt when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of his way of covering. He's like, yeah, you see, man? All right, motherfucker, fine. And everybody was like, And then when he put the gloves back on, the guy who was giving him shit immediately after like a beat was like, little fucking bitch, should have got your shit burnt. And then made it about that. And it was like,
double down,
oh, wow.
Dude.
Yeah, that guy's not going to let up. He's going to be an asshole no matter what.
No.
What a dick.
Well, now you made him feel stupid. Like, and now he has to like prove he's not stupid by being even dumber.
Yeah. Like that kid could have showed his burnt hands and then killed himself right there on the spot, and that guy, everybody would have freaked out, and that one asshole would have been like, "Bitch just killed himself like a little bitch," and you're like, Jesus Christ, man, what happened to you?
The alcohol really puts people, like especially men, in that ego zone where you're like, I'm not, like the vulnerable thing for him would have been like, shit, I fucked up. But like that guy who makes fun of the gloves guy that's going to be loud like that, he's never going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, also like, what gloves could that guy have worn? You know, like, I don't know what his options are other than the baseball gloves.
A fancy, elegant, long.
he goes.
Yeah, he could have come in with
elbow length.
I would have loved it, like Cruella DeVille type.
Sure.
Cigarette holder.
And maybe if he'd have done that, he wouldn't have been hanging around shithead college parties at the Commons in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, he would have been at the cotillion, having a sprint.
Would have been in New Orleans. Dude. By the way, Jared, that's why my theory on why Baton Rouge is such a fucking hateful place is because it's an hour away from New Orleans, so everything cool just goes there instead. And there's this budding like trust me, dude. You bring up New Orleans in Baton Rouge people will find a way to somehow shit on it and make it about the rivalry, which is like there is no rivalry. They're two different places.
Completely different. And I mean, I remember we were at Tigerland. There's that bar there, and they were like giving out, what's it called?
Fred's
was giving out T-shirts, and the owner of Fred's became friends with us because we were taping on, his property. And he's like, you want the censored one, or do you want the non-censored one? And we're like, well, let's see the non-censored T-shirt. And it was the most graphic depiction of a tiger fucking a elephant in the ass I've ever seen on a like, who would wear this? Like, where's this gonna go?
Someone who really hates the University of Alabama.
Yeah, it was, and then like we did the game, and we would put the schools against each other. And I remember the Alabama guy lost, so we poured something on his head, and then the guy was like, he's out for the day. Like, there's no like go home. Like, there's not even cars. So like, we were like, do you want us to hose you off? And he's like, yeah, I'd really appreciate if you hose me off. So we take him in the back, we start hosing him off, and these LSU fans just come over to watch him get hosed off, and the whole time, just like that guy you're talking about with the gloves, they're just going, yeah that's right, bitch. That's right. Yeah. Oh, getting hosed off. It's like, dude, he lost. It's fine. Like, let it go.
Yeah, dude. There's also, you went to LSU during an LSU Bama game. That is like, there, you cannot get more college. That is the most college football moment of all time.
Dude, it was the game of the season. We went to every place we went was supposed to be the biggest game of the season. That year, Alabama was 1, LSU was 2. So it was like the game of the century. So it was like it was up here from minute 1. You couldn't even get a hotel in town. Like, it was crazy.
Dude, like that kind of shit. Yeah, college football fandom is insane. The neighborhood I grew up in, there was like a middle class country club in the neighborhood. Like, so everybody was like, playing tennis and shit, but also drunk, like playing tennis hammered and like driving up in like beat up fucking Ford Escorts. You know what I mean? Like, not even trucks. But I learned to play tennis from a dude named Renee who had the LSU Tiger tattooed on his tongue. Like that, but he didn't even go to LSU.
It's such a weird, that's such a weird, to think like there's someone playing tennis in France with the same rules as that guy.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Same name.
Yeah. I feel bad for the tattoo artist and the artist that had to design the tiger fucking the elephant. It's like, can you imagine that commission? Like, okay, here's what we want.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I have the stickers somewhere. I tried because they gave us a sticker in the shirt, and I'm like, I guess we'll take this. Like, I don't know. I at some point I'll want this to commemorate.
Well, the dude Renee with the tiger, he had a good line. I heard him use a couple times because it was like right down his tongue, and the women, he'd be like, you know who Mike the Tiger is, the LSU Tiger.
Yes.
Mike the Tiger's the mascot. Like, Mike the Tiger's a gynecologist, right? And he'd stick his tongue out.
Oh no!
It was so like.
I love
man.
gross guy lines like that, and I love like the tub of lard thing. Like I love when something surprises you, but then you're not surprised by it. Then you like look at the person and you go, oh, yeah, you would.
That makes
say
sense.
this. Yeah, this all makes sense. Like you're playing the whole character. It's not just the look.
I'm I'm not grossed out by him saying that line. I think that line's funny. I would be grossed out by anyone that fell for it. Anyone that's like, ooh, that's sexy.
Some would say they're made for each other.
Yeah. There was a couple just fucking Chardonnay charged. You know what I mean? Just like
at the middle
like fuck it. Fuck it.
At the cheap country club having a drink.
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
Yeah, and I said Chardonnay, my bad. I meant Bacardi Breezer. Just Bacardi Breezer bomb, like whatever, fine.
Thinking of cigarettes.
Yeah, just fucking menthol 100s, Benson and Hedges. Wait, connecting the dots real quick. So right before this whole lockdown happened, Caitlin was doing shows in Athens, Georgia. Caitlin.
Yeah.
That's where the Georgia Bulldog.
That's why I was like, is it a cute dog or is it a Georgia Bulldog? Yeah, I was in Athens and had my last show there before everything shut down.
How were the shows there?
They were really fun, but I was doing this like cute little theater in more of like the hipstery part of town. So I loved those audiences. They were really fun. I was building a new show. I did it for like the first time. I had a bunch of people there. It was a great show. And then it was like, cool, lockdown, no more.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Athens is a great town. That's the thing. All those college towns are a lot of fun. Like that was like not to keep bringing up LSU, but that was a surprising part. Like it was so decentralized that it kind of, that takes away the cuteness. All that's left is college football and dudes. Like, and at least with Athens, like I went to Penn State. Penn State's a huge college football town too. Mm-hmm. But at least with Penn State, everything's in one box. So mom and dad are there. They bring the kids. It looked like everyone that was at LSU was like, the kids would be like, can I come? And they'd be like, you can come when you start smoking cigarettes and spitting at the passionate people. Yeah.
You got to throw a punch before you can watch them throw a football. Yeah. I mean, Athens is a fan. Like, comparatively, like, Athens is amazing as far as, like, a city. Like a design.
I just realized the last bar that I went to before everything shut down was also in Athens. It was this little bar called the World Famous, something like that.
Okay.
Bathrooms just covered in bathroom graffiti, old drinks, great food. Man,
I started, so I was off of booze for like 3 months, and then the first week of quarantine, I stayed off of booze. Mm-hmm. And then after that week, I've been doing some real fun home drunks, like really enjoying the sweatpant drunk. And now I'm starting to have those moments where I think of a bar like that with the graffiti bathrooms. I'm like, ooh, that warms me up. I just want to be blacked out there.
Yeah.
One day.
We were pretty sober too. Actually, I didn't have a drink at that bar. I was sober. Yeah. I had one night in Athens where I drank, but it was just at one of their neighbors' houses. But yeah, we were pretty much sober all of March, and then now we've started to have too many bottles of wine.
Yeah, the wine doesn't stop you enough. I think that's my problem. I get to one bottle, and I'm like, I treat them as if they're all cans of White Claw. Like I'm like, 3 bottles of wine. I just had 3.
Yeah, natural. Yeah. Dude, we did that 2 nights ago. We were like, let's have a bottle of wine, and that.
No, you said glass. It started
a glass of wine. I meant the bottle. The bottle made out of glass.
And then we went through 4 bottles. Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah, and you don't, and it's not in the moment. I'm the same. I don't notice it, but then the next morning I'm like, 4 bottles?
Yeah.
Like what? And tonight's the draft, and I kind of want to like be fucked up watching the draft. At least tonight the draft is like a live event. Like I'm like almost like excited.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, Caitlin, this is not going to interest you at all, but I got to know, Jared, do you think Burrow's going first, and do you think it's going to be Cincinnati? obviously.
Burrow's going first. I'm hoping the Patriots. I'm just excited to see what the Patriots do. Like, this is like, I'm a Patriots fan, so like being a Patriots fan has been fun, and people hate Patriots fans. But I would also argue it's been boring. Like, I kind of knew what the deal was going to be. Like, the team went as Brady went, and they were kind of like, now it's like, oh, I got a whole new, like, it's a whole new cast of characters that I can get to know.
It's like being married and getting divorced at 50.
Yes.
And being like, well, I can still get out there though,
What's Tinder? I guess I could try it. Because like the Brady thing is like, Brady leaves the Patriots, and I watched Brady from beginning to end of Patriots. So like I had the full meal. I wish him well. It sucks that it can't work out on my terms, but like it's his life.
How long has he been with the Patriots?
He was
20 years.
20 years, right? Like,
I actually know what's going on here. I knew that he'd left. I knew that.
So he left, but but he's people know him as like married to Giselle, 6-time Super Bowl champion. I know him as the backup to Drew Bledsoe that was the 4th-string quarterback that came from Michigan. And then I watched that whole, and like I had the great moments. Like, I'm like, oh, this is great. Let's see what else is new. Like, good luck, buddy.
Yeah.
I feel okay about
what else can he do? That's the other thing. It's like he's done. You can't get any more.
Well, you know what he's doing next week? He's golfing. It's going to be Tiger and Phil and him and Peyton Manning.
Golfing.
And
like
you're going to be able to watch on TV.
I heard that they're going to be opening up golf courses, which I don't think is a bad idea.
That's so fun. You're so far away from everybody else.
My dad, this has been all we talk about. My dad is enraged that my dad is in Florida. My mom and dad are in Florida, and they're in like a retirement bubble. And all we talk about, he's like, and then they close his golf course. So now what he's been doing since this has all started, he's turned into this golf pirate where he just travels from county to county with open golf courses. He's like, I drove an hour and a half today. I found a golf course. And he said you can't even get on them. Like, they're so busy because people are looking for anything to do.
Damn. That's so
The
crazy.
one, like, super fucking hippie, fucking dipshit white kid college thing that I wish we had in New York is a disc golf course. Not going to lie about it.
Right now, a Frolf course would do us a lot of good.
Yep.
Walking.
We could play Frolf in Prospect Park.
No, but like a Frolf, like a straight up like
a real
18-hole, like, because that shit is dumb but fun.
You could actually invent a real fun one. Like, you could draw a map of the city and be like, hit the Statue of Liberty. Like, that's because all you're doing is hitting something.
It's right. Yeah, and then you just have to be willing to lose every frisbee.
Yeah, you go out with like a sack of 30 frisbees, and you're like, this is got a day.
Throw this one at the BQE and just hit any moving vehicle.
I like it, and just blame it all when it misses the gloves. The torque from the glove.
Hey, dude.
I love the idea of you going, okay, you hitting like the local police precinct, and that guy was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like walks out. It's like, we're playing Frolf. We had to do something.
And then you got to throw one at him too. Like, and then also hit the cop that comes out. That's how you get like 20 points.
What if you got arrested for assaulting a police officer with a frisbee?
You go into prison. They're like, what are you in for? A little bit of Frolf, got a little carried away.
Frolf the commish. Believe me, people have gotten arrested for assault of an officer over far less of that than I'm sure.
For sure.
People have for having black body and blackface as well, and also being black. Apparently, I think.
I just wrote a song about some Florida man headlines, and I was reading them. A bunch of them yesterday, and there was a guy that got arrested because he was just receiving like a warning about illegally feeding an alligator, and then he tried to like resist arrest and like got combative because he kept just shouting, he's a good boy and he loves bagels.
Oh my God.
Which I
You're
like.
feeding alligator bagels
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you're like how it's funny that like a lot of those Florida things just like ignore the meth in the story. They're we just want to feed them bagels. And you're like, well, this sounds methy.
Yeah. Every single headline sounds super methy.
I can't. I mean, now that with the success of Tiger King, I'm hoping there's like a Gator Man and like a Chihuahua woman and like just all these like fucking.
You're gonna get
crazy
your wish.
Animal people.
Yeah, that's absolutely gonna happen.
There's no question.
So wait, Jared, what would you mind telling us your story in the 5 words, please?
I'll give you my 5 words.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
Go.
Yeah.
Move, candle, confidence, birthday, girlfriend.
All right. Now, this little known fact about Jared Freid is growing up in Massachusetts. You know, right now you're a comedian, a presence to be reckoned with, but you were a shy teenager. You were a shy young lad growing up there just outside of Boston, Jewish kid. All you really had going for you was this one dance move. Now, I know a lot of people don't know about your one dance move, but it was called the candle, right? Which is where you just go into a dance floor, stand completely still from the neck down, from the neck up. Just get it going. Just get it going.
Oh, you're nailing it, Sean.
Get it going. Get it going, right?
You get it.
Intense, sexy dance move. But you decided the first place you were going to do it was at a rave, you know, just there, just to see. And it was a hit. People, it was almost like you were literally on fire. People were just praising you, warming up to you, you know?
Mm-hmm. So you started to like develop confidence. This was a move that like you had been so scared to show people, and then people loved it at this rave, and you were like, maybe I can fucking dance. Maybe I can like come out of my shell a little bit. And so you decide, fuck it. This year I'm gonna throw a big birthday party for myself. I'm gonna have a dance floor. I'm gonna do my move. I'm gonna show everybody this new man that I am. So
you whip out that dance move, right? You're confident now. You whip it out on a dance floor, the candle, and you expect everyone to, you know, they're all looking at you. You expect praise from all fucking angles, but instead everyone's like, what the fuck is that shit, Jared? You fucking cocksucker? You fucking piece of shit. Who fucking dances like that? You fucking Eastie prick.
Except for this one girl who across the room sees you doing the candle, and she spots you, and she's like, that is the man for me. She comes over and she's like, that was beautiful. Like, who are you? Tell me more about you. And that was the day she became your girlfriend.
Yeah, and you just moved in with her. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe you nailed it. It's crazy. Yeah. The whole, I guess that's the end of the podcast. You guys got it. There's no.
Cool.
Yeah, we did our research.
That's the story. There, and the rest is history. Yeah, I loved it. I love the candle. I can make that a part of my life.
Yeah, Sean, do it again.
Baby.
Wait, Sean,
what's the real story?
Give us one more candle.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the real story?
Sean, do it again.
Oh.
Sean's face, you get a lot of movement. Like
I can't do it that fast.
It looks, you do. You go so fast that it looks like I need glasses.
It looks like I would, if I was at a rave, I would be like, that's what would happen. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, man, his brain is inflamed with that.
I have moved in with my girlfriend. We moved in, so I was living in Harlem. She was on the Lower East Side. The plan was to move my stuff to her place on the Lower East Side and then move to a 1-bedroom upstairs in the same building. So it was going to be a 2-week move. So that first move goes fine. It was actually, because of the quarantine, easier to move. No one on the roads, all that stuff. We get down, and now we're in her studio apartment together. The studio apartment for a week wasn't easy. I'm not gonna lie to you. As far as us together, we were fine. The space, it just wasn't happening. Mm-hmm. Her birthday happened to fall in that 1 week period. So I am trying to work out an idea for what can I do for her for her birthday. Like, I don't know what, like, I got to figure something out while we're like next to each other. Like, it's tough to text people. It's tough to buy things. So I go online and I order charcuterie and champagne from a restaurant. And then I send her with her friends are like going to the park, and her friends are like, tell her like, come to the park with us. And so they do like social distancing in the park while they drink White Claw. So then while she's out, I clean up the apartment, like the little studio, and I get the champagne, I put it out with a card, and then she has this huge candle in the middle of her like, you know, the living room, but it's the whole room. And so I'm like, so I light the candle, I turn on music, and I just sit with a glass of wine and I wait for her to come back to be like, this is the night before her birthday. So I'm like waiting for her to come back to be like, hey, like thinking what I did was like a sweet, you know, this is the start of your birthday. This is what I could do. I got her a gift that came in the mail like the next day, which was nice. I got her like a little mini thing. And she walks in and she's a little drunk and she's like, oh, she's at first like, this is so nice. And then she's like, who just lights a candle? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I don't know. You just go around lighting candles. I don't know who has the confidence to just go light a candle. I was like, the confidence? What are you talking about? She's like, well, it's a nice candle. I wouldn't just go light someone's candle in their house. And I was like, I don't think that's related to confidence. I don't think I walk around being like lighting candles as I walk around being like, oh, that's right, bitch, lit, you're lit. Like, this is like the idea that I'm like some like big asshole candle lighter in her mind. And so we get this argument. I'm like, and she's like, well, what do I do with this candle? And I go, well, at this point, the candle is an art installation because you're not even fucking using it. And how much is this candle? Like, I need to know. Like, when were you going to light it? What was the day? What was going to be big candle day? Like, what was worth it? Not your birthday when your boyfriend and you are moving into it together. So we get in this huge candle argument. And now we've broken up. We didn't move in together. And I live in a different apartment than her. So.
Wait, seriously?
No.
Oh, shit.
That was the end of our relationship. No. So that's my story. That's my stupid.
Dude, I like how you said we get into a big candle argument. In my head, I thought, you mean the only candle argument possibly ever documented in
that's
human...
ever happened.
No, there's definitely way more candle arguments.
Are there?
Yeah, oh yeah. Like, did she apologize when she sobered up?
She still can't believe that I would just go in and light a candle. Like, she thinks that that's like a crazy thing. And then I end up like tweeting about it, and this candle company messages me. This is actually the end of the story. So we still like divided on this. And I tweet out this thing about the candle and how like living, like, I guess to women, and Caitlin, you could tell me this, like, there is such a thing as lightable candles and non-lightable candles.
I did not know that. That is
okay. Yeah. Maybe,
I'm not a candle person. I kind of understand where she's coming from, but also I don't because I'm not a candle person.
I guess like occasions should match the things you're using. So I put up this tweet. I get a message from a candle company being like, hey, we love your stuff. We would love to send you some free candles. So I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I said, would love it. They go, just send us your address. I send my address, and the candle company writes back, are you fucking with me? And I go, what? They go, I live with my fiance or husband, I'm not sure which, on that exact floor in that exact building.
What?
I swear to God. She goes, look me up. She goes, I can't believe, she goes, are you, and I go, no, that's where we're moving. We're moving upstairs to that one bedroom. And she's like, she's like, this is crazy. I go, yeah. And so we start messaging. She goes, join us for drinks during the clap, for the frontline workers. And we see, then I go look at her stories. She's on the roof of the exact building that we live in. How crazy. And then it was funny because now our window, she's right there.
That's
this candle person. So now I've had moments where we didn't have shades or anything. So I've like gotten naked in the apartment to like get changed. And then like, I'll look over and like see their light on, like, and see into theirs and they can see into mine. And then I'm thinking like, and then like, I didn't really talk to her for a few days and the candle offer kind of went away. So I was thinking like, oh, she hates us. She saw me naked. She can't believe, like, whatever. And then finally the candles came and everything's cool. But they're beautiful. They're like unbelievable candles.
So because of this fight, you now have new neighbor friends and a fuck ton of free candles.
Like 8 free candles that are probably one of the best smelling candles I've ever smelled.
Amazing.
Like, I like the idea of she saw you naked and made like a tribute candle, like called the Jared Freid. It's a 5.1 inch candle at best.
It smells like salami.
Yeah. I like also the fact that your girlfriend maybe knew that they lived upstairs and was like, there's a cachet of candles above us. You light one, it's all going to go up.
Yeah. We can't be these candle degenerates when we move to the high floor in the building.
Dude, I thought you were going to tell me like that candle was like her grandpa or something. Like,
I did too. That was weirdly my thought.
I mean, that's a better ending for the story, but I guess I even forgot the real ending of the story is that this woman lives literally like I'm looking at her apartment.
That's so nuts.
Will you pitch her the idea of doing a candle for people when they die? Is she gets the earwax from their dead and like mixes it into a candle? You know, like,
there's something there. There's people that are like I think I saw something on like Shark Tank where they can turn people's ashes into diamonds.
Yeah, there is. That's an Ozark thing too, right?
Oh, it is?
Well, there's a scene in Ozark where one of the characters turns his mom into a diamond ring and then proposes to his fiance, and she's like, I don't want to wear your mom.
Would you want that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It'd be weird for me too. I wouldn't want that.
No. That seems like a very overbearing mom thing to do.
That's real crazy.
Put me on her finger and you'll never forget me.
Yeah. There is a bar in New Orleans called Molly's at the Market. Shout out. It's a bar. It's also the largest cemetery in the French Quarter because they've got 6 urns above the bar of locals that have like died and donated their ashes to the bar. So they're just like 6 urns.
It's always weird for me to think of like where you're buried, like you're just there forever. Like it can't like be captured by my brain. Mm-hmm. That must be weird to be like, I'll be sitting there, you know, like to like look across the bar.
I swear to God, I mean this. Fucking when I die, cremate me, put me above whatever bar I like the most, and offer a shot where the bartender sprinkles a little bit of my ash into the shot.
How much would you charge?
You know, a lot. Say $50 a shot. But you get a little sprinkle of Sean. You get to just pound a little bit of meat. Ha!
Yeah.
That's fucking grandiose. But
I think that's a great idea, but like I'd price you a little higher, you know, like that's gonna be
okay. Just in case no one buys it. It's like, well, it's because of the high price tag, not the fact that you're drinking the ash.
You don't want this like super nice whiskey to be more than you per shot. It doesn't have your body in it.
That is great. Wait, so you are now on the Lower East Side?
Yes.
Since I have known you, you've been like an Upper East Harlem guy.
That's right.
So you've jumped into the island. What do you think? What do you think about the Lower East Side? I mean,
I gotta say, my apartment in Harlem was built for a quarantine without me knowing it. It was like very comfortable. Down, you know, I had like an outdoor space. It was just bigger. Here, like the neighborhood's great. Like I love walking outside. Like it's just I love walking the streets. I'm sure I'll love it even more once there's actual people in the streets. Like there's a bar down the street. Like what I love about the Lower East Side is nothing. Like I guess in Harlem, nothing would shock me, but it would nothing in a very particular way would shock me. Like it would be like I would see like a church open up and everyone would start singing outside the church and I go, it's Harlem, baby. I wouldn't that's like that I would expect. Down here, I'm serious. The other day, I walk down, and my street, I'm on Ludlow, and I'm walking down, and Iggy's is like it's like Irish pub. Iggy's opens up a window every day, and then just like all these Lower East Side people are just like kind of like, you know, like hipster, but like also rock looking older people. They're just drinking outside. Like they all want to be barflies in this bar. So they're serving meals. So if you get like a margarita, you get the $5 margarita meal, so they can serve you at the window, and it has a bag of chips to get around whatever the laws are. So there's just this like crew of people that gets bigger and bigger every day outside of Iggy's. So I go and kind of watch them a little bit. So I'll walk down, I get a coffee, I'll go watch them, and then I walk a little farther down. There's a place called Wolf Nights, you know, the rap place.
I definitely know Wolf Nights, yeah.
So there's a Wolf Nights down here, and there's an ATM that's on the outside of it because it's kind of a late night spot. So you would want to get like late night food, and you would need an ATM. So as I'm walking up to it, a van pulls up, and 3 Hasidic guys jump out with tools. Like they have like their tool belts on, their Hasidic stuff, and they start like into the ATM. No one even I'm looking, no one even like looks up. No one even like, and it looked like what an anti-Semite would say is going on in New York right now. Like these Jews just stealing the money from the ATMs and and I was just, and it's just like, that's just another day on the Lower East Side that you see every type of person, black, white, Hasidic, you know, Jewish, Chinese, whatever it is, just doing stuff, and no one ever goes like, what? This is how people are living.
That's man. I mean, the Lower East Side's like, that was the first neighborhood I ever visited when I visited New York for the first time. So it was like, wow, you know?
Yeah. And it's like, now it's like, you know, I live on Ludlow, like you could tell, like it's just been turned into something else. Like you could tell, like it was once this like area to be cool and go out that no one really knew where they were going. And now everyone knows where they're going. You know, you do get that vibe, like, but it is it's just nice to see that like, it is this amalgamation. It feels like there's just like everything down here, as opposed to like, you know, Harlem, like it was just, I didn't think I would feel this way. You do feel very removed from the city. I did feel like I was like, you know, commuting in a little bit.
I mean, it's funny because you said your apartment in Harlem was built for quarantining. I immediately thought, like, if you were a scared white guy 20 years ago, yeah, definitely, because you would never leave if you had your apartment in Harlem.
Yeah, it was just like, you see, this place was built for you. You have a lot of anxiety around people that don't look like you, you know?
You stay inside. No, yeah, Lower East Side's fucking great. You know what, dude? Fuck. I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. God damn it. It was something, but yeah, like the Lower East Side.
Like I'm excited to like when you mentioned before, like the graffiti bar. Like I'm excited for that Lower East Side bar. Like I'm excited for that. Like hang a little bit.
Well, Pianos. You know where Pianos is?
I'm right down the street.
Yeah, when I first moved to New York, that was where the biggest comedy show in the city was, at Pianos. Okay. The Whitest Kids You Know had like a weekly show where they'd have 3 stand-ups and then they would do like sketch at the end, but it was like the biggest
the Whitest Kids You Know. They had like a DVD that was very popular, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they had a TV show too.
I remember the TV show. I might have had the DVD though of that TV show and just thought they were like the best.
Yeah, dude, it's just, I don't know. See, you saying people are at least out on the street, even, you know, distancing, yes, but I don't know, that there's still life ready to fucking pop,
I know, that makes me happy.
Yeah,
you
can, that's the thing, like, you know, it's going to come back. You know that, like, you know, I think New York will change as far as, like, who's, like, looking to move here, who's looking to move out of here. There are people that are like, this ain't for me. I think the people that are staying, and especially like younger-ish people, are going to be like, this is what we can't, they're waiting to just jump out. Like my buddy and I were talking about, like, would I go to a restaurant today if they opened them up? Yes. I would.
Dude, if one of the results of this pandemic is that 1 million people leave New York, so it's only 7.7 million people. You know, cool. And that we don't have to shake hands anymore. Great.
And not no holding the door open for somebody. It's the best.
Yes. And not just for the point of me having to do it. I hate when I'm walking and the guy 15 feet ahead decides he's going to be the good guy.
Absolutely.
It's like, dude, now I got to speed up my perfectly leisurely pace.
So Essex Market, and looking at it, Essex Market, they opened up this like big food court. They're considered essential because it's a market. So I go there every now and again. I'll go get coffee. And this guy in front of me was doing just that, but with his foot. He refused to touch the door with his hands. No. So he just kept with his foot trying to open it for me with his foot. And I was like, dude, go on. You're cool. We're good. New
Yorkers are so funny right now because everyone's like very standoffish, but also overly friendly, which feels very not New York. But it's something about the quarantine and everyone feels the need to be like waving at each other. It's very odd.
Absolutely. It is weird. And I walk by that bar. I always go to that Iggy's just to see what's going, just to see life. The way you guys felt good about it. It makes me feel good. Yeah,
dude. It's good. I'm glad you have positive because you talk to so many fucking people who are just so negative right now about everything. And it's like, you only deal with that for so long before it crushes you. You gotta find hope and positivity.
Well, there's also nothing we can do. If it's raining out and you're complaining about being wet, then it's your problem. You go get an umbrella. So like I kind of, obviously I have my own anxieties, but like at the same time, like I'm also now doing everything I can for myself. And I feel, like I'm kind of happy with it. Like I'd always like my podcast, I was doing it twice a week. Like I've always had this dream of doing it daily and what it would be. And it pushed me to do it. So like, good for me, So like, and now like I'm like, when you do the podcast is mainly dating advice. We give advice. So, to have that audience hear me rant about coronavirus and think it's funny, I'm like, oh, okay, I feel less pressure. Like as stupid as that might sound.
Oh yeah, I remember your podcast. Yeah, that is a fun podcast. People.
Yeah.
Wait, what's it called?
J Train podcast. So we get emails and we give advice. So like. I get like now they're all like coronavirus dating related, which is even crazier because like there's this whole new element that's been thrown in and people aren't sure what to do. So I think I think what the audience like is just hearing other people have the same anxieties. So like I have very lucky, and this is kind of what I've always thought was funny, is to complain about luxury issues. I've always loved that. So like I love complain about the uncomplainable. And so this, when people send in their emails, at least I'm talking about, somebody who wants to break up with their quarantine significant other. And it's like, that's fun.
Yeah.
Where can people find that?
Wherever. J Train Podcast. It's on my Instagram is where I do everything. So like at Jared Freid on Instagram. I'm putting out like videos now of me giving advice. Like I never would have done that, if it wasn't for, so like a lot of people, the one thing that like I really have thought a lot about is like people keep saying like, will things go back to normal, or is this person acting this way because of the coronavirus or because of and it's like I don't think there's a difference between people reacting to this and reacting to getting you pregnant or reacting to getting a disease or reacting to getting married or engaged or birthdays. This is just a thing, and you're witnessing, how the people in your life react to that, and it's not personal to you. It's just that's what they are. So, so I think it's interesting that like I don't really live in this like we're gonna get past this, and 10 years from today we'll be in a world that exists, dealing with stresses of that world. Looking back going, man, I remember when I was yelling about coronavirus on a Zoom conference. Remember when we didn't know what Zoom was? Like, we'll be saying that.
Yeah.
So, like, and, you hope you hope the economies work out and all that stuff. But like, you're going to, we all got to here. We got to this point.
Yeah.
Right.
But you definitely
there will be like Zoom stars,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing a ticketed show next week. I don't know what the fuck it's gonna be, but I'll get feedback and I'll move on and try it again.
When is it next week?
A week from today. So hold on.
Wait, plug it. So we'll push this episode up.
The 30th at 8 p.m. So I'm gonna do it like a talk show. Like I'm gonna have craft cocktails, and we're gonna have like a cocktail that like you can make before you come on, and and answer dating questions. And my buddy's a sommelier. Maybe have him on and like talk about wine. And it's like, yeah, why not? Just like what we're saying, like let's make this fun. Like
is that just on Zoom, or where can they buy tickets?
It's gonna be. I'll put it on my Instagram. I'm working through all those details.
So go to Jared Freid. Say your Instagram handle again.
At Jared Freid.
Yeah, go to Jared Freid. Check out the dude's show. He's one of the best. One of my favorite people to be around, and I can't wait to be wine drunk with you while you're hosting at the VU again.
Oh yeah!
I cannot wait.
I can't wait to be wine drunk in the back of the room, knowing every 15 minutes you have to go and talk to strangers.
Hey, everybody!
Because I don't get wine drunk till the second I get off stage. Jared's like, nope. Actually, I have witnessed the staff purposefully get you wine drunk while hosting, and it's everyone's favorite.
It is so ridiculous the way they make drinks for me. Like, I remember my girlfriend came with me once to the VU, and then she got mine by accident. She stopped. She's like, do you know what they're doing to you? And I'm like, it's like, this is what a vodka soda tastes like.
Dude, 100%, man. Fucking, I cannot wait to get back. But
I know.
Thank you for doing this, buddy.
Thank you both. This was so much fun. This is a blast.
It's fucking great. And I will holler at you soon. But yeah, good luck with the show, man. Holler at you soon, bud.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Don't light another person's candle unless inadvertently you want some candles for free.